Globally, the debate on genetically modified organisms seems to be taking a sharp and different direction. Most critics believe the debate is focusing majorly on food security rather than leaving food independence of different states. In Uganda in 2017 and 2021, President Museveni returned the bill that had been sent to him for signing. The president cited that the bill needs more research and also adds that there are indigenous crops that are not protected by the bill. Susan Nakachwa, an agroecologist who also doubles as an activist against GMOs, believes that food security in this case is imposed on developing countries rather than their independent food safety.
80% of farmland in sub-Saharan Africa is managed by smallholder farmers working on up to 10 hectares. The fisheries and aquaculture sector employs close to 60 million people, 10% of whom are in Africa. Pastoralism is a livelihood for about 50 million people in sub-Saharan Africa, 12 to 22 million of whom are in the Horn of Africa. The one thing that we want to put straight is that we talk about food sovereignty, not food security. Because food security does not involve the rights of communities and countries, while food sovereignty involves the rights of communities and countries to define their own policies for an agricultural system that they desire, as long as it is sustainable and just.
As part of the investigation, Group 3 interviewed Mr. Ambrose Atwine, who works at the microbiology lab at Makerere University, who believes that biotyping solves the financial challenges in the agro value chain.
There are so many countries that have embraced these technologies. There are so many countries that are using these products. When you look at many other countries, even the UK, you look at America, you look at Brazil, those are some of the countries where GMOs have been used in agriculture, where GMOs are being planted on most of their land. And these are countries which are wealthier. They have used some of those products to solve their financial challenges. They have used the products to come up with, some of those products that can be able to bring, also solve some of the issues of food insecurity.
Unlike what Ambrose believes, Nakachwa insists that the world is likely to run out of seeds if GMOs are to be taken on.
Promoting industrial agriculture at the expense of that large number of smallholder farmers has a direct impact on seed security, tinkering with local varieties. For example, what we hear today, the super banana, golden rice, biofortified cassava, orange-fleshed potatoes, and the recent influx of GMOs across the African continent. What we need to note is that global agribusiness has earmarked Africa as a new market for their chemical products, and therefore selling industrial agriculture as the next magic bullet that will save us. But this is not the case.
However, Professor Ogenga Latigo, who is a scholar of bioengineering, believes that gene crossing is a natural process.
Basically, the problem is that when the science of biotechnology was being developed, the challenge, for example, with a crop like coffee, bananas, is that you cannot produce different varieties by crossing, like cross-pollination.
Yes.
So the only way you can improve it is to move some gene from one banana to the other. But that movement of genes is a natural thing.
Really?
Yes, when you procreate and you produce a child, that child takes part of your gene and part of the mother's gene, and they form a new generation. Yes, but that is a biological process. And by the way, for those who sometimes even talk negatively about biotechnology as a science. Yes. The first person who got people to understand that there's some gene crossing leading to this was Gregor Mendel. He was even a Catholic monk. If you talked about genetic modification, then you also do it when you produce a child with your wife. Yes. The genes of the child is partly your gene and partly the one of the. So the child doesn't have your genes only.
Laws and policies that are coming up today are set out to criminalize farmers' rights and promote plant breeders' rights. Things like UPOV, ARIPO, all those are policies and laws that are being put in place to undermine the role that small-scale farmers play in saving, protecting, and sharing seeds.
The former leader of opposition also believes that the campaign against GMOs is just a war between the Western countries.
But the problem that brought these international campaigns against GMO was that America beat France to the technology.
Oh.
And
but originally the technology was from France.
It was an open technology, but America moved very fast with research and developed plant varieties that would respond to the chemical weed killers. Yes. That was good that time. Yes. And because it was patented, now the French have to get the technology from America. And you know this fight between Anglophone and Francophone. Yeah. So the French, instead of accepting that they were beaten to it, they started demonizing the technology. Oh. So you'll find people like Professor Seralini, is a French professor. Yes. He picked these rats, the type of rats that became the joke during COVID. Yes, they were procured by yes. Now there's one race of that rat, the white rat, which when they reach a certain age, they develop cancer. Oh. Yes. Okay. So this guy picked one of these rats and said that he had fed the rats with GMO maize, and they caused cancer on the rats. But the truth was that that rat will, even if you kept it in the sweetest food, when it reaches a certain age, it will develop cancer and die.
Corporations have shifted focus from the rest of the world to Africa and called Africa the world's next breadbasket. Our own African governments are aggressively promoting industrial agriculture at the expense of small-scale farming. There's an intention to shift from small-scale farming to industrial agriculture, and that is what we call a broken food system.
Fear is very normal. We are talking about agriculture. When the tractor was invented in America, the people who used horses, there were even riots. Oh. Now, the tractor technology has reached a level where you sit in your office, program your tractor, and give it a command. It will drive itself to your farm, and it will go and cultivate without a single human being there.
There is need to enlighten the public on GMOs, because I remember when I was still a student, this used to be a very big debate. Yeah, we used to, talk about GMOs, what could be done to sensitize the masses about the applications of GMOs and the beneficial effects of GMOs, not to totally disregard that genetically modified organisms are not safe.
We must urgently increase the reporting on agroecology, as well as help audiences to understand and make the link between agroecology, our food systems, food and nutrition, land grabbing, poor soils, agriculture and climate change. And all of this can be done by journalists by simply holding your pen, your camera, or anything that you can use to report to the public.
You have heard the debate from experts and critics. I think it would be better for all of us to read between the lines, and it's clear that more research needs to be done to ensure that nobody is hurt. Muke Crispus, Group 3, Makerere.